Hi guys, so in my last video I did some scratch bashing and I really enjoyed it, so I fancied doing some more. So basically I've got all my bits and pieces and I thought, what can I make with all of this? And I recently saw an image of an Ork Rok, something I've never seen before. So that's what I'm going to make here. So starting off, I'm going to make the like a ball sort of shape, and to do that basically I'm going to take two CDs, cut little slits in them and then put them together to roughly make a ball shape. There you go, they fit in quite well. Now I just need to glue them together just to make sure they don't fall apart. And then to make them more rounder, I'm just going to add in some of this packing foam that I basically got with my 3D printer. So I've got lots of this. So I'll just cut it out into little sections which I can glue in. And then basically I can just keep building it up by gluing in more bits. So it's kind of looking like a bit of a weird snowball now, but that's fine. I'm just going to keep on adding bits and adding bits. And then later on I can just trim it up to make it look roughly like a ballish sort of shape. So an Ork Rok is basically just like a meteor that's been converted by orcs into a kind of a spaceship. So that's why now I'm just going to make some sort of thrusters to go on the back, just by using a bit of leftover tubing and basically some lids off the glue pots that I use. So back to my snowball, now the glue is all dried, and it's just a case of trimming it round. It's just a case of trimming it now, just to take off all these sharp little edges. I said it doesn't have to be a perfectly round ball, as obviously it's an asteroid, so it can be a little bit irregular in shape. Yeah, just need to take off the pointy edges bits now. So I've marked out some little areas now that I'm going to cut out, and this is going to be where I'm going to place my little thrusters. So I've got a few other little bits I'm going to just sort of stick on. One of them's obviously this like cockpit sort of thing. So I'm having that sort of like in a central position. And I've got this other little piece which I'm not even sure where this bit came from, to be honest. Might have been a speaker of some sort, I guess. And this can just go on the front like some sort of big nose. And a good old milk bottle lid. Again, it's just sort of randomly placing a few bits and pieces on here. So I've cheated a little bit here, and I printed off some hatches. I printed off two because I wasn't too sure which one I liked the best. I think I'm going to go with this one. So I think I've stuck enough random pieces on now, and now I'm just going to cover the whole thing in good old grout. It can be used for so many different sort of applications. You can put it on nice and rough, you can put it on smooth, all kinds of textures really. So while the grout's drying, I can crack on and start working on the base. And for this again I'm using some more CDs, just because I kind of like the size of these and they seem to work really well. And again another coat hanger, because the wire in this is nice and firm and strong and should be able to hold up the Ork Rok. As the plan is to make it look like it's hurtling down towards, well, down towards the ground really. Just to give the base a bit of thickness, I've got some of this foam board that I've just cut up into a circle. And I'm going to kind of attach that by, again, using the grout, because as well as using this to make textured terrain, it does also work mainly as a adhesive. And there we go, now to try and attach the rock and see whether or not it can hold. And there we go, it's a bit wibbly wobbly, but on the whole, that should be fine. So there's just one last thing to do before I paint this, and that's to add some panels. As pretty much every Ork vehicle I've ever seen has been repaired at least once or twice in its life. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now, add some panels on. And again, I'm using some plastic card, and my good old method of making the rivets is basically using my sort of sharp, blunt tool and poking through. And there you go, loads of lovely small rivets. And this is a case of gluing these on, well, just basically here and there. So I've made a few different size ones. And on to painting. So I've primed it in black, and then I'm going to do some dry brushing with some silver. And for the main part of the asteroid, I'm going to go for like a reddish brown. So again, using these kids paints because these are so cheap to buy. Just going to mix a red and a brown, and yeah, get a really reddish brown colour. And again, I'm kind of sort of dry brushing, but it's a bit of a thicker mix, so it's almost between a normal mix and a dry mix. And this way, I still get to have some of the black showing through, as well as in some areas it's going to be more reddish, more brownish, or more blackish, just to make it look nice and uneven in colour. So I'm going to try and make these thruster bits look as though they're sort of like hot, because obviously they're working. So yes, I'm just going to go mixing a bit of a yellow and a red, even though the red seems to have come out a bit orange, but it is red. And then try and sort of feather the two together. I've done this a few times, and if the result isn't too bad, but it generally takes a few times of putting a bit of yellow on, put a bit of red on. And then whenever there's some silver bits, I'm just going to add a bit of a rust effect to it, as I'm sure this would be a rust bucket flying through the space. So I'm really enjoying these scratch bashing projects, as they are a lot of fun, taking a variety of materials and, well, basically as the name implies, bashing them together. If there's anything you guys want to see me scratch bash, let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'll pick one and have a go at making it next week. So to make the cockpit thingy stand out a bit more, because it's kind of getting a bit lost because everything's silver, I'm just going to paint over it with some copper. Although the copper I've got is quite watery, so it's going to take a good 2, 3, maybe even 4 coats of this stuff. But it'll look good in the end. So to make it look like this thing's hurtling towards the ground, I'm just going to add some sort of fake grass to the base. So I'm just putting on a little layer of PVA glue, and using my really expensive tool, I'm just going to spread that around. And as the grass you can buy from hobby shops is quite expensive, I'm going to try something different. I was in Tesco's the other day, and I was looking for the spices and saw this dill. I thought, wow, that kind of looks like a bit of grass. So there we go, I'm going to just spread that out and see how that kind of looks. And obviously this is so much cheaper, because I think this bottle was about 70p, as opposed to the sort of £3–4 you'd normally buy. And when I was there, there's also these other ones that can look like a different variety of grass. So again, I'm going to try them out in the future. And there we go, I think the grass effect doesn't look too bad. Obviously you can't quite have this standing up on end, but from a distance I think it looks awesome. Okay, now to see it in all its glory.
Everything in this part of space belongs to the Orks. For speed! One lone Ork left to steal the loot, wishing it hadn't turned out so. Through big sharp teeth and I should have let the pilot go.
I hope you enjoyed the build, guys. Leave some comments below on what you'd like to see me scratch bash next. And so I really do enjoy this now, so I'll definitely be doing a few more of these. And yeah, leave your comments down below and I'll pick one of them and make it for next week or the week after. So yes, I think the grass really came out well on this as well. I was kind of pleased with that. And yeah, the overall look I really like. And I love the fact that the lid that I used says store upright on it, which just adds a bit more comedy effect for the Orks. If you are new here, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, as I do produce videos every week. I'd like to say a big thank you as always to my patrons for helping to support this channel, as one day I would like to do this full time. There is a link in the description showing how you can become a patron. It's only £1 per month, and you get access to all the behind the scenes stuff, as well as what I'm currently working on at the moment. There's a couple more videos on your screen, guys, don't forget to hit them and go and check out more of my work. Okay guys, that's it. Bye for now.